Hey there, cute kitty. Bing, 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 bing. Looks like we got game one on Zetnus Hyperrandom. The best Hyperrandom, in my opinion. Boar's gonna have what, like from 150 to like 700 food, or something like that. Turkeys and goats can have like 40 food, 40 to like 200 food. Maybe even more, I forget. And of course the whole map's random too. Snipes were versions of this. Just a little bit of snipe. Of course, it's just a snipe. The bands were Mongols, Lithuanians, Spanish, and Punians. Which makes me think that Nomad's probably in the middle. If Spanish was the first band and Lithuanians is another band. I'm just a co-caster here, so I'm here for the ride. And then the admit band's interesting. Berbers, Georgians, Huns, Teutons, and Sicilians. Teutons? I still like stuff like this where you pre-ban. What is this? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 civs. So there's nothing like too OP. And you have 2 snipes. So like the 4 that we're going to see played in this best of 3 are going to be Byzantines, Portuguese, Tatars, Magyars versus Chinese, Italians, Saracens, and Vietnamese. Still pretty good drafts from both players.
All right, hello and welcome everybody. I'm very, very sorry for the delay. I had pretty much everything go wrong that could have gone wrong, but I do have something that has gone very right, and that is the fact that Ronald Rage is here.
Hello.
All right, you can see the screen. Hello, Arun Sharma. Welcome, welcome, Cookie Pirate. Thanks for being here. Can you hear me, Ronald?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, I gotta turn on the sound. There we go. That would probably help.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Excellent.
Awesome.
So, guys, we're trying to do a thing for Alchemy League where we have distinguished guests come on the show and help us co-cast the games. Make sure that we don't miss anything, offer their own perspectives. Ronald, I've known for a very long time. Known him since this community was a free-for-all community. If I'm going to date that relationship. So at least 2 years, and definitely more than that. Because we started doing Alchemy League as a 1v1 competition 2 years ago at the start of 2024. So Ronald, he's got a lot of classic experience. He even played in the King of Ireland tournament all those years ago and made a massive army of 60 Saracen knights in the Imperial Age.
Against Brit.
against Britons. So Ronald is not afraid to improvise, and that's why he likes maps like Hyperrandom. So I was able to entice him to come back for a co-cast, and every once in a while Ronald will still do the free-for-alls. But he also does a lot of other stuff too, with like speed running and such. So you can tell that he's a very patient guy if he can put up with speed running. So I'll be getting all these things wrong. I'll be calling the players the wrong colors, and Ronald will very patiently correct me because he's always been patient. So we're gonna show. You're still watching for Santa. Oh, that's right. The Santa watch. So Cookie Pirate brings that up, so I'm going to mention it. That within this slideshow somewhere there is there's going to be a reference to Santa Claus, and whoever spots Santa Claus first gets a prize of some kind. I haven't exactly decided what it's going to be, but I know that Cookie Pirate cannot trick me into talking too long, because if he does, then Santa will inevitably show up.
It's going to be $5,000 USD.
If only. For $5,000, I could fund Alchemy League for like 20 years. No, maybe not quite that long. So we're going to bring up the opening slideshow. Ho, 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 buy a damn book. Exactly. Could you imagine how pissed you would be as a kid if you had gotten a book from Santa Claus? I don't know. Maybe you were that kind of kid that would get a book from Santa Claus and would like that kind of thing. But I think most kids would prefer to have the train or the chainsaw Christmas presents. All right, so I've got up on my screen the seating arrangements for this season of Alchemy League. We have in our first set, we're going to show a Geomar, who is here, versus the Banana Philosopher. So we're talking about a 1300-ish player versus another player in the lower 1400s for the first set. A Geomar, I believe, is from Mexico, and Banana Philosopher is, of course, from India. And I've never met or seen or encountered a Geomar at all. He is new to Alchemy League this season, and so is Banana Philosopher, but I actually met him in a ranked game several months ago when I decided somewhat delusionally that it would be a good idea to play ranked again after having not played in like over a year, like 18 months or something like that. And I just got wrecked and frustrated for a while, and then it was a big commitment to try to get back above 1300 again, and eventually I did, but it was just a pain. Was it worth it? Oh, of course it was, but I should just stick with casting. All right, so we got these two players in the first set, and in the second set, we're going to see Alexander versus Mizumi. So these guys are a little bit closer between 1500, lower 1500s and 1600 for these players. Mizumi, I believe, is from Germany, and he is new to Alchemy League this season as well. Alexander is a returning player. I've known Alexander for a long time. I think Alexander used to play in Juicy 45s tournaments, so he's been around for a while.
I played Alexander in one of the early Alchemy Leagues. I remember.
Yep.
We had a crazy game in that really open desert map. It was like Chinese versus... I don't know. I had Chinese and he had a really good camel sieve, and I somehow won.
Yeah, BP made a version of Desert Void, if I remember correctly. And that was a lot of fun. Or maybe it was Huey Coyotle's Spiny Forest map. Cookie Pirate found Santa. It was a couple slides ago in front of the moon. Damn it. He got us talking long enough. He was eventually able to find Santa. All right, yeah, good job, Cookie Pirate. On the first cast, Cookie Pirate has found Santa. So I'll have to think of an appropriate prize for Cookie Pirate. Good job, Cookie Pirate.
I'll be transferring the funds in 24 to 48 hours.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Let me pick something that he will not accept. How would you like some crypto, Cookie Pirate? We'll set you up with some crypto. Yeah, that'll teach you to spot Santa first. All right, so anyway, we'll go over the Civ drafts real quick.
Some Hawk-Tua coin. I'll send you some Hawk-Tua coin.
Hawk-Tua coin. Oh, boy. Those meme coins. All right. Well, we don't need this OBS error anymore. Okay, so the way that this works is they globally ban 5 civilizations, or actually the admin globally bans 5 civilizations, and then they each globally ban 2 civilizations, and then they each pick 3, or they take turns picking 3, they snipe 1, and then they pick 2 more. So this leaves a Geomar with the option of Vietnamese, Saracens, Italians, and Chinese, and Banana Philosopher has Byzantines, Portuguese, Tatars, and Magyars. And any of these civilizations, it's hyper random, so you have no idea what you're going to get. For Alexander versus Mizumi, Alexander was left with Gurjaras, Romans, Bengalis, and Japanese, and Mizumi was left with Malay, Berbers, Armenians, and the Khmer.
I like the admin picks, because I don't know what other maps are on here besides Hyperrandom, but for example, if Nomad was here, we don't see Spanish versus Lithuanians every single set, with the admin bans and then the 2 bans, there's always going to be a variety of civs,
Yeah, see, Ronald is a civ draft philosopher. I was just like, guys, just tell me what... I am literally so entrenched in maps, I do not care what the civ draft looks like. Come up with a civ draft, and the players are like, oh, okay. And they just came up with a civ draft for me, and I didn't understand it, didn't think about it. But the community selected the civ draft, and there was some kind of esoteric explanation about how they didn't want Spanish versus Lithuanians on Nomad every single time. And I think it's worked pretty well. So it sounds like the civ draft is relatable to Ronald, which is good. Might be able to talk a little bit more about the civ matchups, but I think, Ronald, I think it's time to get into the games, right? Any other questions, guys, before we get going?
Yeah, it's a GMR versus Banana Philosopher is the first set, right?
Yep, that's right. So we're going to go up and load replay. My computer is too old and tired to run Capture Age, but that's all right. Okay, so we are going to...
Yeah, version 1.2 to 1.0 won't install for some reason, but it's working just fine without the update. So, I ran a 3v3 I played the other night that was an hour long, and it ran the whole replay, so it should be fine.
All right, let me restart this replay from the beginning so that we can... All right, so I'm on 2 seconds, Ronald. Ready whenever you are.
Can you get to 13 seconds? Because I can't rewind.
I can, actually. It'll just take me a few more seconds, but I can do it. All right, I am at 13 seconds right now. So whenever you're ready, 3, 2, 1, go.
Perfect.
All right, so we're going to kind of introduce the players, talk a little bit about this particular generation. We will answer Cookie Pirate's question. Maybe Ronald will want to take that one. No, I'm just kidding. Ronald probably doesn't know. He's been kind of out of the loop about the admin decisions of the tournament. But he could get involved if he wanted to. But I will take that question. But first, before I take the question, we're going to talk about this particular generation of Hyperrandom. Well, there's one thing in this game that really jumps out at me, at least. I might be a little rusty at age, but even I notice this one thing that jumps out. What do you see, Ronald?
A Fatoria.
That's right.
Also, so real quick, the Chinese player is going to have a massive advantage because that Fatoria is going to generate the food that they start with less of, and they don't start housed either. So Chinese is going to just be 2 villagers ahead, just straight up. Yeah,
the Chinese, they got extra food from the Fatoria to make their start easier. They don't have to worry about being housed because they got these extra pavilions. So it's a real... I mean, the Fatoria takes up population space as well. And that takes up 20 population space. And so I don't think that the advantage is quite what it may seem. But it's still definitely a big benefit for the Chinese here. So we have Chinese in the red versus the Tatars in the blue. And it looks like this particular version of Hyperrandom has some pretty large snowy forests. They're quite nicely mixed in the style of Zetnus, as is the case. Oh, it looks like he's got some penguins wandering around too. Now, all of these penguins and other types of pretty much any animal on Hyperrandom is edible. We got a random, essentially indestructible tower in the corner. Otherwise, I don't really see anything jumping out too much. It's kind of like a big... It's not really Black Forest, right? Because you do have a big clearing between the players. So you're probably not going to wall too easily, but actually you may wall kind of effectively. It'll be more like Arena, perhaps. You could
blue has a
maybe
pretty
wall
easy
the
wall.
front of your base.
Reds will be a little bit more difficult to do, but blue has a very easy wall with the Faitoria helping out as well.
So what red gets in Civ advantage in this case, blue gets an advantage in map. Yeah, it's a good looking map, Jen. This is kind of the nice thing about Hyperrandom is you can kind of make it a little bit more organic, a little bit more random, right? I mean, you can always do this forest mixing if if the map maker has a good attention to detail, they can do the forest mixing. And these polar bears though, they look kind of confused. These polar bears are wondering where all the sea ice is. They want to be out fishing somewhere. But anyway, in general, yeah, you can get the nice terrain mixing and everything. But what's cool about Hyperrandom is it's just like, if it looks too organic, you can just be like, hey man, it's Hyperrandom. It's supposed to be very random and a little bit unfair, and there's a higher tolerance for that. Not that it would be. Zetnus and I went over the specification for this because every map that's commissioned for Alchemy League has to have a component specification, and I actually highly recommend it. It's on the website. You can go and you can read about, and I actually learned a lot reading about, okay, this is how Hyperrandom is set up. We have a young Jadwiga here. I believe she's a Polish queen or something. She doesn't look like a queen. She looks like a Joan of Arc with a letter opener, a giant letter opener she's carrying around. Oh well. All right, so let me catch up on Cookie Pirate's question. Serious note now. Why are the new Chinese civs still not allowed in Season 9? Seemed like a mildly controversial decision since they've been out for a fair while now. Okay, so the reason is we have... Oh. Banana Philosopher here almost losing a scout. He does manage to convert a llama, and that llama gets hit by Town Center arrow fire. So Ronald, since you have been away, they changed it so that if animals are killed by Town Center arrow fire, the meat is not lost. So it's more
I saw that. Yeah.
Age of Mythology now.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, I don't like what Blue's doing here. This seems like a perfect fast castle map. Especially with the Faitoria, that just helps you even more. And he's going archers. I'm not sure, as long as Ali, how do you pronounce his name? Sorry.
Agiomar is how I pronounced
Agiomar?
it.
Okay, that sounds right. As long as Agiomar walls and just gets TCs down, they should be perfectly fine against this pressure here. And they'll be far ahead with their town centers.
Agreed. On maps where you start with a Faitoria, I think it's hard to justify anything other than Fast Castle. Just because the Faitoria has a ton of health, it's free resources, and it's basically a huge economic boost. And so if you go feudal aggression and you can't get the damage in, which is even less likely because your opponent can literally just sit with all of their villagers underneath their town center and still eventually accumulate enough resources to click up, right? So it's you really have to get a good foothold on your opponent. And the Banana Philosopher, he's building outposts. He's very interested in what his opponent is doing. But I actually think they are both fast castling, though.
Okay, just to slow out, because I'm not even saying just boom. Like, you can fast castle into like some siege monk play, and then kill the Faitoria, for example, with some mangonels, and that's still perfectly fine. But maybe the archers were just for like some feign pressure to pressure the woodline or a gold. But yeah, even a forward castle would be nice because these hills in front of both players' bases are pretty nice.
Or convert the Faitoria if you have redemption.
Yeah.
Now, neither of these players do, but it would be funny. And we actually, theoretically, I have heard of people playing on this map converting Fetorias. Could you imagine having to delete your Feitoria so that your opponent couldn't convert it? It'd be like
Yeah,
the
that'd be
most
pretty bad.
triggering thing ever. Anyway, I got to answer Cookie Pirate's question. So the answer to your question is that the competitivity evaluation for Alchemy League, the thing that we make the those 2K guys do to make sure that the map is like going to be fun and it's not going to be the same strategy every time, that sort of thing, that is in desperate need of rework. We have to address that anyway. We have to account for new units that are added from new civilizations. There's going to be a big water rework coming this year where they're going to like add a few. From what I've heard, they're going to add a few new water units. So there are real big changes coming to the mechanics of the game itself. And one of our goals this year is to work with the AoE stats guy, the guy that develops all the win rates, and see if we can get some updated data and a basis for revising the standard 3 specification that we have that guides that competitivity evaluation. So that is a plan, but we're not there yet. Unfortunately, we're not able to keep up with all these changes from the devs, or we've had other priorities. But it's a priority now. So we've seen a little bit of minor raiding from Geomar. He's made a few knights. He does not approve of these outposts that are in his base, and he used the knights to clean up a spearman and a few archers. And the banana philosopher is now going into cavalry archers. Say it isn't so. The Tatar's making cavalry archers.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Okay, he's got one
And
range in the front, and he's got another range in the back. I don't know if Agiomar knows about that second range. I actually don't even think Agiomar knows about cav archers at all, although he probably may have seen one cavalry archer shoot down his spearman over here. Or may have lost a unit to it. Okay, so the banana philosopher coming forward. Agiomar deciding that he's going to plant a castle over this
might get denied.
Feitoria.
Yeah, might
Actually,
get denied.
yeah, these, I don't know if they're going to deny it, because there are theoretically knights around. He's
Yeah, and only
outnumbered.
6 villagers. You're gonna need
Um,
more than 6 villagers to get that down.
May not deny it, but he'll be annoying. He'll get a few villager pickoffs if Agiomar doesn't react fast enough.
Oh, he's got a monk too.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
monks. That's right. And of course, Ronald, since you've been gone, they reskinned the monks to be more confusing now and have regional skins. Actually, I like it. You
That
know,
looks
you can
pretty
kind of
cool.
tell. It's
Yeah, I
the
like
guy
it.
with the staff. It's basically Gandalf. Whether or not he's, got a book or whether or not he's got a robe or something like that. This castle is going to go up on the Feitoria. And
Looks like he's gonna go Chukunu. I like that.
Chokunu. Chokunus would be a fantastic unit. They're really good at tearing down buildings. Ooh, a banana philosopher fighting off this knight on his wood line there.
They should be phenomenal against cavalry archers too, just with that DPS.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be hard to chase down, but in a straight up fight, it should be a easy win until banana philosopher gets to light cav, or to get that meat shield in front of the cav archers.
So we got Banana Philosopher coming out for a raid. Unfortunately for Banana Philosopher, Agiomar is pretty well buttoned up over here. Looks like Agiomar has actually captured this tower, which gives him vision over this area. That's actually kind of nice. And it was pointed out in the specification for Hyperrandom that there could, as Banana Philosopher gets a monk pickoff, that, every once in a while there could be some Gaia building out there that you can convert for vision. Or Gaia livestock that you can convert for vision or eat, but Geomar has not brought in these. Actually, you know what these could be? These could be from a town center, because he's Tatars, so maybe Banana Philosopher had a gather point out here, and these llamas went out here and a Geomar converted them and didn't realize because he figured that all of the livestock was already eaten. I don't know, that seems unlikely. Just trying to come up with an explanation. So we got 2 town centers for Banana Philosopher and 3 town centers for a Geomar. He's adding a 4th now. Is this a boom map, Ronald, or is this a fast imp map?
I mean, they're so close to each other. I mean, aggression. I would probably if I were playing here, I would probably play aggression. But since it's such a closed map, I can understand like you're pretty safe to do a 3TC boom. I noticed that the relics are in very interesting spots. There was one in the middle and then four here on the left.
Mm-hmm.
So GMR might get all four relics. The Cav Archer's being really nice to thwart that. So he's not just going to get all five relics for free. Um, but yeah, interesting relic position for sure. Like I would expect, I guess it's because it's hyper random, but normally like if it was Arabia, for example, or even Black Forest, like there'd be one relic in the back of Banana Philosopher's base, there'd be one relic in the back of GMR's base, and so forth. Instead of
Mm-hmm.
all of them, or 4 out of 5 being just right here on the left side.
Cookie
Oh, look at that
Pirate.
stone!
What? Where?
Holy crap! Oh, there. Never mind. It's not as great as I thought it was. All these stone piles are 122 stone each.
Oh yeah, that's that's a good thing to point out on Hyperrandom. You can have random amounts on some of these neutral resources.
I thought that was like
Um,
6 castles worth of stone, but no, it's like one.
Maybe Banana Philosophers, he hasn't clicked on the stone yet, so he's building a town center here, thinking it's a ching
Oh
ching
yeah.
moment.
Hey, when
Um,
you're playing, it's hard to notice all these things as opposed to when you're casting the game.
Cookie Pirate asks, what are the players doing about the polar bears? It's hard to see since I'm on mobile. So I heard a rumor that a GMR and Banana Philosopher have switched to using paper straws to prevent global warming. So the polar bears will be able to live on the ice sheets again,
Hmm,
and will leave the villagers alone.
that's nice. I
Isn't
did
it?
see a polar bear get a kill earlier on. Killed a spearman.
Oh, they're very ferocious. Now, since you've been gone, Ronald Rage, like the wolves are now specialized. Like the alligators have a charge attack, the polar bears have a little bit of extra health. The rabid wolves have like they give people, they give the units that they attack rabies, which is like an HP drain or something like that. Even after they start attacking, it's
Are you
very.
trolling or are you actually serious?
I'm actually serious.
Oh my god,
Um,
that's crazy.
Now, that's not good enough for Cookie Pirate and I. For an Alaska competition, we designed polar bears to require, like, what was it, 8 villagers, unloomed villagers to take down, and they were impervious to arrow fire. It was pretty insane, but, like, polar bears are very mighty. They definitely should not be killable by one person. Like, because if you met a polar bear in real life, that thing would just, like, they're one of the few animals in the animal kingdom that just sees you as food,
Yeah, and
and
they're
they,
also like insane. Like they're
yeah, they're,
like very powerful and can easily kill like 10 humans by
yeah.
themselves.
I asked the AI to do an analysis for me of how many men with Stone Age spears would be required to defeat a polar bear, and it came back with something like 30 people. They're extremely strong, and they've got thick blubber and tough hides. But in Age
Banana,
of Empires, they're sissies.
yeah,
They're
Banana
they're actually
Philosopher
pygmy polar bears. I don't know.
lost all but 3 of his Cav Archers and killed maybe 3 or 4 villagers for that. So that's
Hmm.
not very good because what you want to do when you're playing Cav Archers is get to a critical mass. And so it's very, very difficult to kill 40 plus Cav Archers. But when you're only at like 10 to 15, you can, just have like 15 Shukanu just tear those apart.
The,
So right
yeah.
now, the Chinese player is definitely, I would say, ahead by quite a bit here in army at least, and
I
actually in just overall pop.
if I were in Banana Philosopher's position, I probably would have done some really crazy. I would have like used the Tatar eco bonuses to do some kind of crazy night rush with maybe a few scorpions backing, because like what do you do with cavalry archers on a map like this? There's not really a lot of mobility. He can't. He's trying to get around and dodging the zone of control for each of these town centers, and he's constantly losing HP to that, or the scorpions are chasing. There's not. He doesn't have the freedom with these cav archers to just roam and kill villagers wantonly like every cavalry archer wants. It's a tough map, in my opinion, to justify this unit on, even though his Civ specializes in it. And of
Yeah,
course,
I
he's
mean,
stunned.
even this faster imp, but like he's not really going to be able to do anything with it because all he has is what, some skirms,
He's
a little
got
bit
some
of
Keshiks here.
Keshiks.
He's got some Keshiks and a Trebuchet, so this is his window. Geomar is 20% of the way up to the Imperial Age. Oh no, don't attack the Siege Workshop. No, Banana Philosopher. Okay,
Yeah.
so Geomar knows that Banana Philosopher has a Trebuchet and is attacking his Siege Workshop. So this Trebuchet should be rolling forward and it should be attacking the castle. Who cares about that Siege
Yeah.
Workshop? He could kill that later. Anything that comes out of that Siege Workshop, his Keshiks can rip apart.
And also, GMR's army, the only way he can make it is with the castles. So you take
Mm-hmm.
away a castle, that's half of your, well, a third now of your production. So yeah, it's going to be a little tough to push once GMR gets to Imp, which will
Mm-hmm.
be fairly short soon. And they already have most of the upgrades. They got ballistics. They're missing the +2 defense, but hopefully they'll get that soon. But they will be behind on Trebs, and that's pretty. That is pretty good for Banana Philosopher.
It is. Cookie Pirate says, I think Black Bears equals 2, Grizzlies equals 4, Polars equals 8 in game to successfully kill was what ended up actually happening and designed for. Well, the ratios are accurate. So if you ask the AI to analyze how many people are required to kill each bear type, then I don't remember what the numbers were, but I remember that grizzlies required twice as many people to take down as a black bear, and polar bears required twice as many people to take down as a grizzly. For anybody that wants useless trivia about how, how to fight bears in literally the worst way possible.
Yeah.
Why not use Capture Age? You don't like it? I can't use it. It's too demanding on my PC. I have an old PC. So Banana Philosopher did manage to tear down one of Agiomar's castles. And Agiomar actually is not contesting these trebuchets. He's not like making trebuchets from a castle of his own and trying to push back. And he's going to lose his Faitoria, which is unfortunate. And he's tech switching into Light Cav, which is also unfortunate. I'm not really sure there's any reason to make Light Cav if he has gold, but I think maybe he just wants some fodder to eat those skirms.
Yeah, for the skirms.
But he could, he's Chinese. He could be putting down like 3 or 4 siege workshops back here and rolling forward with some scorpions. Chinese scorpions with rocketry, Ronald Rage. Yeah. Oof, man, that's lethal. That's some lethal stuff right there.
Yeah, I would have preferred to go knights or camels personally against these Keshiks. The Keshiks are absolutely just destroying these Light Cav. And yeah, also like you said, the scorpions would be kind of nice. But yeah, he's just not getting the army numbers up, and it's looking like it's going to be pretty tough. I thought Agiomar was actually going to be ahead this game, but Banana Philosopher with the quick attack is putting him on the back foot.
I love seeing these kinds of games, right? Because this is an example of power spikes and like momentum. And Agiomar has 100 villagers. He's boomed up to 100 villagers, and his opponent has 20 fewer villagers than he does. And yet his opponent is the one with the scary army pushing into his base. So the question is, can Banana Philosopher do enough damage to Agiomar such that Agiomar's villager advantage doesn't matter because Agiomar is taking inefficient fights because he has to fight in a bad situation because his opponent is ahead of him. And looks like he is going to get a counterattack in with these light calves. But the Keshiks are doing work, and they're generating gold for Banana Philosopher as well. So I guess they're kind of making up for the villager deficit a little bit, but not very much.
Yeah, Agiomar lost all of his, all but one of his Chukanu. And the Fire Lancers are actually one of the few new units that I do know about because of the Red Bull ladder shenanigans going on. I'm not sure if you know about the Siege Tower getting banned.
I saw that. I was like, oh my goodness, that's so embarrassing. Imagine being a game dev and being like, okay, if you see siege towers, snitch on your opponent so that we can disqualify them. Like having
Yeah, it
that
was.
as the only thing that you're capable of doing at that point in time.
I remember the first time I
It must have
saw
been a
it, it was
huge
cool.
fiasco.
Yeah.
That they couldn't just like emergency patch the siege tower or something, so it was physically impossible. Because there's going to be people that'll be like, "Oh, I didn't see that announcement," and they're going to get reported, and then there's going to be all of this drama. It's going to be a mess. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't mean to go on a tangent bashing the devs. It's one of my soapboxes. I do that quite often. You were going to tell me about the Fire Lancers, though, Ronald.
Yeah, so they have like this charge attack. It looks like I'm pretty sure they don't cost gold. And you're starting to see with the 100 villager eco that Banana Philosopher they're not massing up their skirms as fast as they should have. So his army was actually able to be taken care of there. So GMR, lost two castles. That's not good. But besides that, they lost the Factoria as well. You can't rebuild that.
Mm.
But that's a pretty big loss actually. The Factoria. It's three relics to two, so it looks like the game's kind of evened out a little bit. Banana Philosopher just needs to deal with some of these raids. And if he could deal with that, he should be all right here.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things is removing that Factoria. Maybe it opened up some pop space for a Geomar, although it
Oh,
didn't really
right, yeah.
seem like he was pop capped to begin with. But in theory, if the resources exist on the map, the Factoria is the least efficient way to collect them. If the resources exist, and if you are pop capped, the Factoria is the least efficient way to accumulate those resources. 20 villagers would work much more efficiently than a Factoria. But having said that, if the game goes on late and resources run out, it's like losing 20 economic units, but not exactly because they're still less efficient than 20 true villagers.
Yeah, they
But
said it was roughly about 8 to 9, or like 8 villagers with all the eco upgrades.
mm-hmm.
So, um, as far as because it's food, it's like it's fastest on wood, and then a little bit less food, and then a little bit less gold, and then a little bit less stone. I don't know the exact numbers, but
Mm-hmm.
here comes a GMR with 4 trebs, which can kill buildings pretty damn quickly. I'm still not a huge fan of the light cav, but I guess they are pretty low on gold here. I would much prefer some camels to fight these Keshiks instead of just light cav.
Yeah, the camels would rip those light calves apart. They'd
For
be
the
vulnerable
Keshiks.
to the fire lancers, but everything on horseback is essentially.
I mean, the
Um,
Chinese player. I wish they would be making the camels. I guess both players should be making camels at this
both
point. But
well, if you want to know the truth, I think both players should be. I think the Chinese should be going siege ram push with fire lancers. That would be pretty devastating. Like, what is
that is
what is
true.
what is
That
a
is true.
guy with the feudal age upgrades on his infantry do about a siege ram and fire lancer push? There's not much
True.
he can do about it. But
Colors
he's
don't have the best infantry. That is true.
yeah they. I mean, and that's
They have
basically how
Howling.
you answer that. Or you go off and you raid and you weaken them somewhere else and you distract them. But this map is not really set up for doing effective raiding. And these light cav are just rampaging through the Banana Philosopher's base.
Yeah, I guess
Um,
60 light cav versus whatever it was, 10 Keshiks. You still win with those numbers. So,
mm-hmm.
and then also, ooh, Banana Philosopher has none of the attack upgrades. Not even forging.
Ooh,
That's pretty rough.
let's check if he
Whereas,
see if he has even he doesn't have the armor either. He doesn't even have the first armor for these halberdiers. So these halberdiers would melt to pretty much anything. Cookie Pie are asking, don't they get boosted in Imperial though? I think you might be referring to the Fatorias. I don't believe so. I believe that Fatorias have the same effectiveness regardless of the age. I could be wrong about that. Who knows? Maybe the devs changed that since I last played Portuguese, but I don't think so. We've seen a Stonewall pop up for Banana Philosopher, but I think it's basically over.
Yeah, double the pop.
I should actually try to toggle some things. So I'm going to toggle that and maybe toggle this. Oh, yeah. 65 population for Banana Philosopher. Only Aztec monks could turn this around.
Or Bengali monks.
Bengali monks. Bengalis have what they have they took the armor from the Slavs and they gave it to the Bengalis or something like that.
Pretty much, they just without any just start of the game they have, I believe it's +2/+2 armor. Might even be +3/+3.
Can
So,
you guys
with
can
the healing,
hear everything okay, right?
crazy.
What's that, Ronald?
I was just saying,
Sorry.
combined with the monks healing each other as well, it can get pretty crazy when you have a lot of monks.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room left for the Banana Philosopher to exist.
Yep.
Chinese
Getting
lost
close.
camels, didn't they? Oh, did they? Let's go check.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Maybe they did.
I know the Chinese got a rework because they also lost mangonels. They have the cart thing instead, which is similar to a mangonel.
Yeah, look at that. No camel. No
I did
camel
not know
for
that.
Chinese, but if
Okay.
we go over to, like, I don't know, Byzantines at least still have camels. So, yeah.
I had no idea they lost camel.
Good point. Yeah, I didn't realize they had lost. We're trying to keep up with all the changes to the game. It's evolving very quickly.
Yep.
Very aggressive forward castle from a Geomar.
Yeah, this
Trying to
planet's-
build it, but his fire lancers are in the way. I'm sorry. What's that, Ronald?
I was just saying, at this point, it's completely over. Not even Aztec monks can save you from this one.
Yeah. Outnumbered 3-1. So even if you convert every single unit that you have as a monk and you convert, you'll be out of faith, and your opponent will still have units left over.
142 light cat were made that game. Not too shabby. Yeah, but Philosopher did a pretty good job. I think their biggest mistake was their production. They needed a lot more skirms out there with their Keshiks because they just got overwhelmed by the light cav. GG.
GG. So I'm going to go back to the replays here, and we'll take a look at Game 2. I think Banana Philosopher just needed to play it more aggressively, given the civilization disadvantage. The relatively closed nature of the map would have lent itself better to a more direct approach, in my opinion. All right, so let me know whenever you're ready to begin. Hey, see you later, Cookie Pirate.
Are you asking who the co-caster is? It is Tech Chariot. Continue.
We're here with Ronald Rage, and we're casting the second game in the set, Banana Philosopher versus Geomar.
Oh, are you asking the players? This is... Oh, the picture. That is... crap, what's his name again? Bobby Riz. Bobby Riz. Oh, crap. I just started. I'm at 25 seconds.
All right, I'm at 50 seconds, so I will
Okay.
pause and give you a chance to catch up, and you let me know when you're caught up. I'm at 56 seconds.
Are you ready?
All right, yeah, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go. 56 seconds.
All right. So, Hyperrandom again. Players are pretty far apart this time, actually. More open version of the map, or a more, I should say, open arrangement. They still have
Definitely.
some pretty big forests along the edges and in the corners. And there are some strategic hills between the players. I think that this map will be more of a fast castle style map, where somebody maybe builds a castle in a forward position on one of these hills. However, you could also go scouts. I think they might play it like Lombardia. We'll have to take a look and see how many villagers they put to wood ultimately. And their starting unit is actually an Iroquois warrior. Let's go! New York State Iroquois warriors. We're going to hopefully be seeing a lot more of these in the near future for Alchemy League. And there are fooded peacocks. Look at these peacocks. They're edible. It just feels like a big waste to eat a peacock. But
I know, right?
I guess if you're hungry, I mean, they eat everything out there. So
Food is food. Yeah,
that's
if you're
right.
hungry, you're hungry.
So
these boars have 212. I thought it said 75. Okay, so these boars are almost regular boars.
well, there's a boar right here that has 372. So these are some scrawny little boars with only 212 food. Yeah. The Komodo dragon doesn't have any food on him. I think Zetnus would have given the Komodo dragon food, except if you give predators food, then if the predator aggroes against a villager and the villager stops to kill the predator, then it will start gathering the food from the predator automatically instead of going to build the palisade or whatever it was doing. It'll collect the food and do that instead.
It's hard to say what I would go for here because the front is so open. But scouts, you could just kind of wall on the sides, and scouts are not that big of a deal. Although I could see archer or man-at-arm aggression could be very good here because both players have no back golds. So if you just keep your opponents off of gold the whole time, you can kind of snowball that into just a straight-up win. Just, keep off of gold, go up to Castle Age, keep on pushing with maybe some mangonels, and GG.
Anybody know what these Macedonian command posts do? It looks like they give some garrison space, and they have excellent pierce armor and excellent health in general. Maybe it's just an indestructible section of wall, 3 section of wall. So we got 3 villagers for Banana Philosopher, and we have 3 villagers for a Geomar, both on wood. So I believe they are both going a scouts build. Italians have a compelling scouts build because their feudal age is cheaper. So they can spend that food. It only costs, I think, 440 food, I think, for Italians to click up. So it's basically a free scout. And the Magyars, of course, get the upgrades for free, forging, which allows them to pick off a villager in one fewer hit.
Yeah, so, cheaper scouts too for Magyars.
Yes, not as well. I mean, cheaper than Italians certainly. I think they're 64 or something like that. It's nice.
I will say this though. Nowadays, just clicking up to feudal if you're going feudal aggression as fast as humanly possible is such a big deal that even archer builds, you go on 3 on wood, and then you just, after you click up to feudal, then you just send 7. You go up to 10 on wood.
And a Geomar
could still be going archers.
A Geomar has a lot more on wood than he should if he were going scouts, actually. So he could be doing one of those new lightning archer builds that Ronald is talking about. Back in my day, it was perfectly acceptable to go 22 or 23 pop archers, and people just don't do that anymore.
If you do that, you're just going to get killed nowadays. Because I used to do that as well, and I would be like a minute and a half later to feudal age and just be down on numbers. But no man-at-arms here, which I kind of feel like that would be the best build here, just because of the golds. But not too big of a deal. We'll see what happens. Magyars, I would assume they're going scouts because that's what Magyars always do.
So Geomar has not scouted his opponent yet. The Banana Philosopher has scouted his opponent. He knows that his opponent does not have a back gold, but I don't think he's found his opponent's gold quite yet. He's looking for it. The Iroquois warrior's looking for it with the dual-wielding tomahawks. Yeah, he has not found his opponent's gold yet. maybe the banana philosopher is going fast castle. I mean, he's got a ton of farms here. It
Yeah,
looks
clicking
like
up
he's
at
going
25
fast
as
castle.
well. Yeah, you're
Oh
not
yeah,
gonna.
that's way too late.
Yeah, exactly.
Taking the peacocks, building a barracks just now. It's a bit greedy, but
Yeah.
the Magyars are in feudal age, and the Magyars are working on their stable, but they haven't finished it yet.
Second mill as well. So if this, yeah, the scout build's a little sloppy, a little slow in the scouts. If he would be hitting scout with scouts like right now, he could do some really good damage. But it's coming a little late, so I'm not sure if they're gonna. And of course, you don't have that first scout as well. You have the Iroquois warrior, so
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be a little delayed compared to like an Arabia scout push.
Which is actually better because this Iroquois warrior has 8 attack. Plus
Okay.
1 now because of Magyars. So he's got 9 attacks. So he can actually wipe the floor with this scout.
Yeah, look at
The
that.
scout running away. It's like, oh, whoa, I didn't mean to pick that fight. These are not Eagle warriors. These are Iroquois warriors, ladies and gentlemen. Beware the tomahawks. Um, and you could heal them too in the feudal age. You could garrison them in your town center and heal them. They cannot outrun scouts, um, but they can win in a fight. All of the things
Yeah,
being
this.
equaled.
Yeah, very late on the farms too. You really want to put these farms down right away when you're doing scouts. So only making the one scout, it looks like, kind of feigning the scout pressure. I don't mind it because you see Banana Philosophers making some spearmen, making a stable. Not maybe that's just for a feudal age building though to click up with, but still no players on gold yet. So just getting their feudal ecos up and running. Banana Philosopher still hasn't gotten their eco techs yet, which I mean, if you're going fast castle, you want to do that, but you're still not on gold yet,
Mm-hmm.
so not sure about that.
He did build a scout. I don't know if he's going to build another scout, but he's got 1 scout here, and a Geomar losing his Iroquois warrior. It's like a Geomar found some chickens in this corner. He's going to take them home.
Look at this
Um,
gold on the left side here on the west side of the map. You could
town
kind of just like
center.
wall that, or you could
Yeah,
town center
I
in the
think you
middle of
can.
there.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
open. That would be an
and then maybe
awesome town
place
center.
like 3 stone walls like in that little
Mm-hmm.
nook there, and you're safe. Besides everything, besides like maybe a mangonel or something.
So the
That's pretty
banana
cute.
philosopher has got this sprawling farming economy. This is playing with fire right here. Like imagine if an opponent did like some 22 pop or 21 pop scouts build, like a competent 15 scouts build. This would be in grave peril.
Yeah, he
Um,
would not be able to be taking any of his wood. He'd be fully off of gold. But yeah, both players just kind of making their stables and only making like one scout.
mm-hmm,
I guess Banana Philosopher has added some scouts now, which is smart if you're making all these farms. You want to scout what your opponent's doing so you don't just
mm-hmm.
die.
Yeah, I like how GMR has put a greater priority on walling.
Yep.
I think both players could have done a little bit more to wall earlier on. But you also don't want to overcommit to walling earlier on. But boy, we're 16 minutes into the game. Somebody could have just FC'd and be in
Yeah.
the castle age by now. But they're both afraid of fast castling because they don't want to get killed, and so they're both
Right.
kind of like making these piecemeal. Although Agiomar is heavily invested in stone now. Let me check his resources. Maybe
Yeah.
he's thinking about castle age now
So
that
look,
he's
I
fully
like
walled.
the idea.
Yeah.
Look, GMR. If you watch this back, I like the idea of going your unique unit versus Magyars. It's a fantastic idea. But going on to stone this early is bad. What you want to be doing is being on food and gold. So you get up to castle age as fast as humanly possible, and also on wood. You only had 6 on wood for quite a while there, and then once you're on the way to castle age, then you transfer. These 6, even more, 8 to 10 villagers on stone. Gather up that stone really quickly, and then place that castle down once you're up to castle age. This is just going to make your castle age that much slower because you're not taking gold, food, or wood with those villagers. I
Mm-hmm.
like the idea. it's just the execution I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, you generally only see villagers taking stone in the feudal age, or even in the dark age, if somebody's got some very polished, like fast castle type build on arena where they know that they're protected, or they know that their opponent doesn't have an alternate build that's way better and capable of damaging them. But for the most part, why would you spend your time taking stone when those villagers could be off gathering the resources you need to click up sooner? Because you may find that you don't have the map control to even build a castle. You may find that you're not able to take that stone at all. You may find you have to build a siege workshop to fight off a ball of archers or something. So you definitely want to go to the stone as late as possible. But after you've clicked up, it makes a heck of a lot more sense, because all of the resources that you need, except stone, are in at that point.
Yeah, I still love the idea, because look what the Magyar player is doing. They're getting fletching, they're getting bloodlines, they're going to be going cav archers, and as somebody who's played Italians once or twice, I've seen cav archers get absolutely destroyed by the Italian unique unit, the Genbo. It's just not even close.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it's like 10 versus 10, like maybe you lose one, and then all of their stuff dies.
Yeah, I agree. I would have liked to see Banana Philosopher go more all in on the Magyar pressure in Feudal Age, because given the safety of this stone back here, Genbos wreck everything that Magyars want to do. Magyars want to make their knights. They want to make their cavalry archers. They want to make mounted units. And Genbos just shut that down. Genoese crossbowmen just shut it down completely. This is kind of a risky castle location. I understand the appeal. I mean, it protects both of these golds, but maybe if Banana Philosopher wanted to, he could micro down these spearmen, kite the spearmen and kill them off and get in here. But I guess a Geomar is going to get what he needs. He's going to get the level of distraction that he needs to get his castle up. But Banana Philosopher is committing. He's building a forward siege workshop, and he still knows about the castle. So he's building this here even knowing about the castle.
One thing about that castle is it does not protect either of these town centers. It doesn't protect any of your wood lines, doesn't protect any of your farms. So it is nice that it protects the front of your base and those golds, but this Mangonel pressure can do some work. But GMR smartly putting down his own siege workshop, and it'll probably just be Mangonel versus Mangonel, and whoever has the better micro is going to have the advantage.
Mm-hmm. Or a Geomar might make like 2 knights. He does have a stable, and just snipe Mangonel with that. Looks like he's building. Actually, he's building a university. Maybe he won't. Maybe he will just hide a Mangonel behind an improvised wall.
Yeah, as long as you have a couple of Genbos, and that university should be for ballistics, so that knights won't really be able to do anything to the Italian player unless they're for raiding purposes. So he should be safe against if there's knights that are made to try and snipe these, as long as the micro's on point.
And a Geomar is creating Genoese crossbowmen, or he was. He's got some right here. Okay, so he ejected them from his castle. He's got 7 Genbos. That's a very biblical number. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, though. I don't know. Maybe he's proselytizing. Okay, so he's got 7 Genbos and a Mangonel and a scout. So he's got himself a little defensive force here. And Banana Philosopher gonna come around to the left, and he's going to try to find an opening, but of course there is not an opening there. Nobody has overchopped. Nobody has overpicked any berries.
Yeah, they're going 1 TC, Banana Philosopher, but they're not making any siege. You're doing 1 TC pressure. You really want to make, as many Mangonels as you possibly can, as fast as you possible, to take down all the buildings, so your cavalry archers can get the damage that they can do.
I wonder, could Banana Philosopher be going imp again? We've seen Banana Philosopher has demonstrated a proclivity for going Imperial Age on relatively light economy, getting a power spike and doing a push and punish.
They have the buildings.
They have the buildings. They're kind of trickling up the resources. And he's
Yep.
building a siege workshop at home, which is pretty interesting to me. What is this siege workshop for? Is he afraid of getting raided or something? Maybe he's afraid
Well,
the
I'm guessing-
Genbos are going to show up at his base, and so he wants a siege workshop back here. I don't know.
I'm guessing he just assumes the castle and the mangonel that's already out is just enough where he doesn't even want to mess with it. I'm not a fan of that, though. I would personally just keep making mangonels, and just push this town center on the right. Pushing on the left isn't very smart because you're gonna have to go all the way around the castle.
Yeah.
But yeah, just try and push into the base. But instead, they're just gonna make a scorpion, and that's about it.
A Geomar is 2 town centers. Let me check his economic status, see how many resources he has. Oh, so he's not really anywhere close. But he's 2 town centers, and he's sort of investing heavily in military, I guess. He's queued up 4 more Genbos. I'm wondering what the validity of a strategy for Banana Philosopher would be. Could he, click up to Imperial Age, send 8 villagers to stone, and send like 10 more, and just drop a castle like right here or something? Be an enormous pain in the rear. Get a forward castle
Seriously.
in position. Maybe shoot down some of these buildings so his cavalry archers can run around back here. That could be a very valid play for him. Dude, the latency. Well, I think one of these guys is in Mexico and the other is in India. So,
Yeah, I can assume.
kind of on the opposite sides of the world, I guess. I don't know. What do you think? What should Banana Philosopher, in your opinion, be doing right now, Ronald?
Well, since what I really wanted them to do is just make mangonels and push, but they're pretty much even in population now. They were even in villagers. Geomar's catching up a little bit now. It's hard to say. I think Italians now are in a really good spot. I guess going imp would be the best thing if you don't know what the Italians are doing, which he doesn't. Just going imp, placing a castle down, and just going skirm, treb, monk. But they're in a really tough spot here. Yeah, win. That's the idea. Just win.
Oh, why didn't I think of that? It's winning. Who would have thought winning?
But yeah, and the Magyars they have to kill the Italians before Imperial Age. It's just you can't just go Magyars versus Italians in Imperial Age. You're just gonna lose if the Italian player knows what they're doing.
They're gonna build this death ball of Genoese crossbowmen and hussar or condotieros, bombard cannons, and it's just a nightmare. Especially if you're a horde civilization. And I think Banana Philosopher's not even sure, because he's got all these resources in the bank. He could use the market. He should use the market to just click imp. But he hasn't really evolved any counter units to these. I guess he made the skirmishers, but now he has to deal with the mangonels, which are the Castle Age version of bombard cannons. Okay, he has clicked up to the Imperial Age, which is good. Could he have clicked sooner? Probably, but it's not easy being up against somebody that's got the direct civ counter to you. And you don't want to make this huge investment in Imperial Age unless you're really sure that it's going to be useful to you. You're going to get something out of it. They're both up to the Imperial Age.
Magyars really just shine in the Feudal Age and early to mid Castle Age. And they can have a really good post-imp army. With really good, cav archers with that extra attack and range. But the only issue is you're against Italians, so it's just not going to happen. Oh, are they going to shoot this? Oh, he could have shot that castle down and killed it with a mangonel.
It was pretty close. Yeah, there were so many skirmishers in staggered formation that the mangonel could not kill them. And Banana Philosopher is going to get this castle position, which is a little bit surprising because it doesn't really feel like he deserves it, given that his opponent had like 2 mangonels and a bunch of genbos there. But he managed to out micro it. Maybe his opponent, wasn't really paying attention and didn't notice. And this castle is going to be kind of like a lifeline. It's going to be something that at least slows his opponent down, and gives him the chance to maybe come up with something different. If his opponent was planning on going bombard cannons, maybe a Geomar can get into those Magyar hussars, and
Yeah, that's what I want a GMR to do. If he goes bombard cannons and keeps making these Genbos, it's pretty much going to be impossible to lose. The only thing that he won't have on his side is speed, and this is a pretty open map, so you got to worry about those raids. But your army's just never going to die.
mm-hmm.
The bombard cannons kill everything that can kill your Genbos, and the Genbos kill everything that can kill the bombard cannons.
Yep. It's a scary death ball. Banana Philosopher loves his skirms though, but he is eventually going to get pushed back, and a Geomar he's going to manage to get that castle up. A Trebuchet is rolling forward for a Geomar. They're both capable of making Trebuchets at this point, obviously. And we see a Trebuchet under assembly for Banana Philosopher, and he has already begun sieging a Geomar's forward castle.
Yeah, I don't like the spot of the red Treb or a GMR's Treb, because you can just put that on the hill on the left. It does more damage and is protected by the castle. When it's right there, it's not on a hill. It's actually, I believe, shooting up a hill. It's hard to tell because it's pretty hilly terrain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lazy castle position. It's the only reason that's there is because it's the most direct path. But you take a few more seconds to walk over to the west, you can be closer to the friendly castle and mitigate some of that hill defense of the castle.
Yeah, doing more damage. Yeah, because you're shooting downhill. Take less damage because you're uphill. But here's a very important part of the game here. Banana Philosopher is really going to need to do something about these Trebs. Even if he takes out that castle, it's not going to be that big of a deal because he's still got these Trebs hitting his own castle. Yeah, has a ton of stone to prepare, though. That's good.
The Geomar has another castle handy. Check for Banana Philosopher. It doesn't look like he has another castle. I don't see one looking over his base. So this castle is do or die for him. If he wants to be able to continue making trebuchets, then he's got to keep that castle alive. Okay, so a Geomar is going to be up against Cavaliers. Banana Philosopher researching Cavalier and Skirm.
Those knights died so fast.
The Cavalier could work if they outnumber the Genbos by enough, and it comes as a surprise. He could, he could clean stuff up. His opponent will be able to mass produce Genbos, though. He's only got one castle, so maybe Cavalier could work if he outnumbers him enough, and if he can keep these Cavaliers hidden, he could mass up enough where it wouldn't matter. But nope. The Geomar is going to see it. He's going to know that his opponent invested in Cavalier. One Cavalier is not enough. Probably a Geomar will queue up more Genbos at this point. Oh no! Banana Philosopher will resign. Maybe he's out of resources.
I get what you're saying there too. Yeah, it's a lot easier to make Cavalier than it is to make Genbo out of one castle.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, he just didn't have the eco for it. He had 73 villagers. So this, that's the kind of, if you're going to go Cavalier, you want like at least 100 villagers. You want like 120 villagers probably. So his economy was not in position to handle what a Geomar's military was capable of. Let me take a look at. They actually had similar villager count. It's just a Geomar had the counter unit to everything Banana Philosopher wanted to do.
Yeah. Banana Philosopher just needed to do damage earlier on, as I've already mentioned. Mm-hmm. So it's a tough Civ matchup. I mean, really tough Civ matchup there.
So these sets are play all 2 or play all 3. So Banana Philosopher at this point could have said, I'm down 2, I'm going to let you have it. But to his credit, he opted for another game, and so did Geomar. So, despite being at a disadvantage by 2 games, Banana Philosopher opted to continue playing. So, big respect for that. I just had to make sure that I mentioned that.
Good on them.
Return to replays, and we will. You ready to cast the next game?
Yes. I'll take a little break
Excellent.
after this game, but
Excellent.
just like 5 minutes.
Yeah, we could take a quick break after this game. That'll give me the chance to go and get stimulated with some caffeine. All right, so I'm at 4 seconds. Whenever you are ready, Ronald, we can begin.
You said 4 seconds?
I'm at 4 seconds.
Perfect. 3, 2, 1, start. Smokey AOE in the chat says, is that the tech and the RR? It is. Welcome to the chat, Smokey.
Smokey? Who's Smokey?
Just some
guy
I play sometimes against, like I practice against him.
Random guy I never see anymore. Oh, those were the days. Whenever I miss those days when everybody teamed up on Smokey in the free for all. I'm sure he secretly misses them too.
Yeah, good times.
It's great that Smokey has joined. Now look at this giant lake here. There's a big lake with some oysters, Ronald, and some fish.
Yeah.
I bet that Geomar is wishing that he had Italians for this one. Right now he's got Vietnamese. They're not such a great water sieve, but Portuguese are an excellent water sieve. I'm sure Banana Philosopher, once he discovers this lake, which I think he's about to, he starts with this weird vision here. I'm not really sure what that's. Maybe both players got that. Yeah, it looks like they did. So both players know about the lake, and they start with a sergeant as their scouting unit in this case.
Look at that.
And the disadvantage about that is that there's a black bear following the sergeant.
Yeah. So Vietnamese, it actually could be worse. Like they don't have any water, like, bonuses? But they have, wait, don't they have like a wood bonus or something like that? A Dark Age bonus? I forget.
I thought that they were missing an important dock technology or something.
Maybe. Well, it might be one of those like imperial technologies where this, I guess I'll call it a lake. It's too big to be a pond.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough fish in here to just keep fighting all the way till Imperial Age. So,
well, actually, Ronald,
might not matter.
My understanding of the difference between a lake and a pond is not the size, but rather the depth. Or more specifically, that ponds are not sufficiently deep to prevent vegetation from growing at their deepest point. So lakes are so deep that sunlight can't reach the deepest portion, and therefore vegetation cannot grow there. So they are stony bottomed at their deepest point. It's my understanding.
Hey, you learn something new every day. Look at that.
Maybe other people. There's probably some hydrogeologist in your chat that's like, Tech Cherry, it's completely bastardizing the definition. It's far more complicated than that. But that's just my very simple understanding of it.
That makes sense. Double relics on this map too. I just noticed 10 relics.
Now that is awesome. I love relics. It's free gold, right? You just have to think to take it, which, you know, it's like an investment that'll pay off over time. You just gotta think to do it. But sometimes your opponent is just too good. You literally cannot spare the click to do it because your opponent is that demanding. But these guys seem pretty chill. Maybe they can form a gentleman's agreement. They're like, okay, man, 25 minutes into the game, we're going to agree not to fight each other for 2 minutes while we pick up relics.
I get 5, you get 5.
Yeah, that's the kind of deal that Ronald would make with his opponent. So these are new Ibex type units. They are called Argallies. I don't know if I guess he's just going to go take 3 deer. He's not going to mill them. They have 152 food each, so actually they're a little bit fatter than the usual deer.
Hold the phone. Is this like a 5 head at play here? I think it is. Look at Geomar with his sergeant luring in a bunch of a bear and two snow leopards into the wood line.
Is he
This
just
is
going to delete
great.
his surgeon? That would be really funny, Wolf Rush.
Well, what you do
Um,
is you just attack a villager and then fight with it, and then once the sergeant dies,
yep, there we go.
they'll
Look,
chase something
that's good
else.
eye, Ronald. Pointing out that Agiomar is doing this with the help of the wolves. He drove the banana philosopher off of wood, or at least some of his villagers off of wood.
Yeah, he's got the
Um,
quick balls. Those good quick walls.
they were. He managed to save some of the villagers on the wood line, or allow some of the villagers to continue working. And he was trying to mess with this boar lure, but the boar was in too quickly. So he's gonna lose his sergeant pretty soon. So he's just looking for another villager to attack, and I guess the sergeant goes down, and these wolves, or rather two snow leopards and a bear. Have you ever seen two
They're
snow
guarding.
leopards and a bear work together like that? That's some real harmony in the animal kingdom. Oh no,
Yep.
oh no! These villagers are not even trying to go back to the town center. Oh boy,
And now they're getting chased.
this is a pretty successful wolf rush in my opinion. No villagers have died, but it's just very chaotic for his opponent.
Yep.
Um, I don't think Banana Philosopher is going to lose anything, but that's pretty funny.
Yeah, the sergeant.
A sergeant. That's right. Um, and so now Banana Philosopher is going to try to return the favor.
I
He's
saw
picked up
that. Yeah.
he's picked up one black bear,
He's looking for
and
more.
he's looking for more. I love wolf rushes. I think they're so funny. You know, it's one of those things. It's kind of like a random thing that you can just do in the game just because you can.
Yep.
Oh no! Don't fight it! Don't fight it! Oh, he's gonna
Well,
fight it. I guess he's not
he's
trying
probably
to
not
do a
paying
wolf
attention.
rush. He's trying to explore. He's using the sergeant for its intended purpose.
Yeah.
Actually, he hasn't found his opponent, so kind of hard to do a wolf rush. He just found this outpost here, and that's it. He didn't realize how close he was to his opponent's woodline. Maybe if he knew, it would have been a different story.
All right. So, Banana Philosopher is on the fish, and a GMR is not. A GMR is opting to go to the faster feudal. I'm not sure what. It looks like they're going to be going off archers. If you can keep Banana Philosopher off of wood, that can be a nice archer rush. But that's the only thing I can really foresee him doing. Because you're not going to be able to take these fish off. Oh, he is going to go for a dog. Okay, this is actually. Wait, is that a blue dog or a red dog?
That is a
So,
blue dock.
blue dog, okay. Because
So
I saw there was a villager there.
red is not docking. So I think that's a mistake probably, unless a Geomar has this really insane Tato type rush where he just goes all in military and just like takes his opponent completely off of every resource except food.
Okay, and so he's
Um,
going. What I was hoping is what he hopefully will do is just go straight into like a galley or a fire ship and then take all these guys and kill them.
oh,
But a little too slow because Banana Philosopher will be up to feudal age before this dock is finished.
yep, yeah, and red is docking. Red has maybe kind of the right idea to at least do a raid. I don't know if he's going to contest control the water. I think he's just going to kill as many fishing ships as he can. Because he's out docked. Although, to be in fairness, Red may not know that Blue has two docks. Um, yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't even know that Blue has one dock. I guess he has to know because he sees a fishing ship. So he figures that Blue has at least one dock, but Red doesn't know that Blue has more than one dock. He has no
Oh wow!
proof of it. He may
I
suspect it.
Yeah. He saw the blue villager. I'm pretty sure he saw the blue villager because when he was making the house, the blue villager ran by and I saw the villager like get clicked off the house and get clicked back onto the house. Like he was
This is
gonna
huge.
attack.
Look at this,
Yeah.
Ronald. Look at this stable from Blue. This is a disaster, actually.
Oh, okay. It is kind of protecting his wood line though.
Um,
Because yeah.
Red
He's
has
a
denied Blue's
stable.
stable. So Blue's whole plan was to use all that extra food from fishing to make unlimited scouts. And
Yep.
now his stable has been shut down. So we built an archery range instead. I think he should have just built a stable somewhere else, and then finished that one later. But the range will allow him to build skirmishers, which I guess he could theoretically use to fight off the archers. So it's not, it's still a good decision. But boy, it feels. Let's check Blue's food count actually. See how much food Blue has. He's got
He's alive.
729 food already. He's got enough food to go up to Castle Age almost.
Love this
Um,
tower by Banana Philosopher.
this is a
will
great
protect his wood
tower.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's protecting his wood. It's protecting his gold. It's the perfect tower.
Because skirmishers because he doesn't have a blacksmith, without fletching, technically are not going to be able to kill these archers. Um, he's going to need to get fletching to be able to do that, but they will be able to push them back.
Banana Philosopher a bit distracted. There's a lot going on right now. He's got archers at the base of his tower that are just sort of attacking the villagers, and he lost a villager, and he's also fighting with fire ships.
That demo could have killed like 5 fishing ships. That's a bummer. Lots of stuff going on though, so understandable.
Yeah, he's got the repair villager on the fire galley, which consumes a large amount of mental energy for anybody. But these players do this all the time. They repair their ships, which it requires smart. It requires half the number of resources. Geomar is still camping this unfinished stable. He came over and he killed a couple of villagers on the wood line, so I guess he's happy. But he still has not dislodged Banana Philosopher from his maritime expeditions. Banana Philosopher still prospering with these 6 fishing ships and collecting. He's actually collecting the oysters now, Ronald. He's not getting the food because gold was what he needed to click up to the Castle Age, and he has the resources to click up to the Castle Age, but he does not have the buildings.
Yeah.
He's going to build this market, and these archers are going to be over here just in time to deny the market too. But while they're denying the market, they can't deny the stables. So Banana Philosopher should be able to get up to Castle Age one way or another. But if Geomar's paying attention... Yeah, look at this. This is such bad luck. First the stable, now the market.
It is only 4 archers though, because without the armor and the fletching, the skirms are really not that good. You can see right here, like he's just able to kite them back and deal the damage. But since there's only 4, should be pretty easy to push back. But man, he's delaying this Castle Age by so much.
Exactly. That's the price here. It's not really that these archers have done damage. It's the fact that they've prevented Banana Philosopher from moving on with his life, getting up to Castle Age and closing this out with, some knights and some monks and some mangonels or something.
And Geomar are also trying to get back onto water, which is great, but man, look at how bunched up these fishing ships are. All you need is just one demo and you could kill every single one of these.
Geomar's,
and he's got 2.
Let's see. Does Banana Philosopher know about a Geomar's sneak dock? No, he does not. So Geomar built another dock next to those oysters on the right-hand side of the lake. And so he might be able to sneak out a demolition ship and blow up some of Blue's fishing ships.
Look at these resources collected too. Identical. I mean, right now, a GMR is like 50 ahead, but it fluctuates. It's pretty much identical.
So Banana Philosopher has finally clicked up to the Castle Age. He's halfway up. A Geomar, we can check on his status. He has not clicked yet, but he's closing in on the resources. He needs about 100. He needs about 100 food to click up. Actually, less than that now. More like 50. Oh, look at this gorgeous mining camp here for Banana Philosopher. Fits right in there with the stone and the gold. So he's going on to stone. This is telling me that Portuguese are planning organ guns, Castle Age. He's going to want to... I think he wants a castle when he gets up to the Castle Age. He's not going to have the stone for a castle when he immediately hits Castle Age. but he'll be able to build one pretty quick. And I don't think he feels that threatened by a Geomar. A Geomar, he's got enough skirmishers at this point. A Geomar has not killed too much of his water, although let me go double check. Actually, never mind. A Geomar has killed all of his water. A Geomar has actually made a comeback. He's got one fishing ship left.
No, he's got 5. He's got his 5 fishing ships. They're just
Where are they?
Around.
Oh, I see. All right, they're hiding on the other coastline. So he could potentially make a comeback. But is it really worth it at this point? A Geomar is not investing in fishing ships himself. He's just sinking Banana Philosopher's fishing ships. Oh my goodness, look at all of this. Yeah, it's like not worth it. This is where you just use your faster castle age time. He should actually just drop this castle right here. He should drop it, you know, the Bermuda Triangle of golds for his opponent. He could drop it on the hill. He could basically deny these 3 golds, and it would be pretty devastating.
The golds, and it's right on top of the production buildings as well.
What does Vietnamese have against organ guns? Mangonels?
Mangonels, yeah. Mangonels are a lot better against organ guns than they used to be.
Let me check.
Organ guns aren't as overpowered as they used to be.
Actually, a Geomar does not know about... I mean, he knows about this gold in the front here, but that's pretty forward. He doesn't know about this gold in the back. Does he know about that stone? No, he does not. But he does have this stone here. Yeah, if I were Banana Philosopher, I'd be like, here I come. And I would just... But obviously there are knights out now, so it's not going to work. But looks like Banana Philosopher's trying to bust through the other way. I like how these knights tore down this house, even though it was open over here. To the right of the market. But knights don't have the best vision. Unless you're Franks. To be frank, knights don't have the best vision.
I've noticed in these games, all 3 of them now, a Geomar, whether he's up to Castle Age first or second, he's faster with getting that second TC up, and it just kind of, over time, gives him a better advantage. Banana Philosopher just, for some reason, just... Either he wants to get a castle faster, or he just doesn't make the town center, even though he has the resources, and just kind of falls behind. And it's okay, you don't have to make the second and third town centers, but you have to get damage if you don't.
Yep. The Banana Philosopher. He plays more like I do. I pretty much never build that second town center unless I have to. But Banana Philosopher is spending his resources. He's spending some of them. He's making monks. I'd like to see a forward siege workshop, maybe a forward monastery. Could have like 2 or 3 monasteries, a siege workshop. Portuguese have got a pretty compelling siege and monk rush because their monks and siege cost less gold. In the Imperial Age, I think they're missing one of the important texts.
There's the castle
Illumination or something like that. Yeah, it's a good castle. It protects his stone and gold. It's not as aggressive as it could be, but that's okay. It'll be a good starting point. And he could execute the Portuguese snowball from that. But he should get started on this Portuguese snowball pretty soon. He should not let a Geomar outboom him again. A Geomar has actually added fishing ships now. Banana Philosopher... He's got 1 fishing ship left wandering around, but he's off the lake. So a Geomar is now the fisherman of our time.
Yep. That'll be nice to get uncontested gold here, or fish, whatever you prefer.
Now, a Geomar building kind of a nice castle between these 2 town centers. Perhaps he's planning on building another town center in front of this castle on the stone and on the wood. He's kind of setting up his economy for a big sprawling farm eco. I wonder if he wants to go elephants eventually. He's made some knights. Not a lot of villagers building this castle, actually. The castle's still going up for Banana Philosopher. Yeah, there's another town center, so that's 3 town centers so far for a Geomar to Banana Philosopher's single town center. So Banana Philosopher needs to get a move on here.
Yeah, he's only making knights currently. Knights and villagers. So, there's the first organ gun.
Siege weapons would be fantastic. Forward siege
Yeah.
workshop. Could you imagine like a forward siege workshop right here, and like
Imagine one ram.
three ram. Well,
Like,
yeah, a ram.
Just one.
Working on these stables, and like maybe like 3 or 4 monks here, just so that a knight can't pop out and snipe the ram. That would be the dream team. Yeah. And I think he's got the resources to make it happen. Oh no! Don't tell me he's going to go up to imp. Okay, he's getting double bit axe and he's getting horse collar. A little bit late, but he's also been in a pretty scrappy brawl with his opponent. And I would, if I'm definitely guilty of getting those economic technologies in Imperial Age myself. So
yeah, and also
can't really bust him too much.
But I mean, the horse collar is really not that big of a deal because he was fishing, so he didn't even really need it for a while there.
Mm-hmm.
But the bit axe hurts for sure because that's 20% better efficiency for just 100 food and 50 wood. I believe it's 20. It might be 15.
I wonder if a Geomar is going to go up to Imp and Fatoria Boom. Now, wouldn't that be a twist? That would be a power move right there. That's a lot of confidence to go fast Imp and Fatoria Boom on an open map like this. But he's got the food for it, and he's got the gold for it. And he's got the castle for it. He's got the buildings, and yep, there it is. He's clicked up to Imperial Age.
I would prefer, with just being on 1 TC, to just grab down Ajimar's base. Just keep turning up these. You know, if you can just stonewall yourself in, put some heard that is the amount of relics that are on this map. It's double, so. But he can collect his own relics if he wants to. Neither player really getting much. GMR with 2 and Banana Philosopher with 0 so far.
Mm-hmm.
But wow, 15 fishing ships. See, this is what winning water can do for you. That's going to be a big help for his economy.
Yeah, there was a little the stream broke up a little bit, Arun Sharma, but I think it looks like it's back now. You know, my heart always races because it's like there's nothing you can do. You know, the internet decides to crap out. What are you going to do? Except just accept the fact that you have an unfinished piece of content sitting on the internet. I guess that's all you really can do. I like to cast these live. I like to give people the chance to interact. I like it because it feels more authentic to me. But the disadvantage for that is that sometimes an authentic part of my life is not having internet work all the time that you want it to work. So I think we're back now, though. But I agree with Ronald. Like, 1,000 food and 800 gold is non-trivial. Think about how many nights that could be. And these knights right here, do they have Imperial Age upgrades? No. These are Castle Age knights. The difference is there could be twice as many of them right now. So Banana Philosopher should 100% not allow this castle to go up at all. But I think he doesn't know about it. So a Geomar knows about this location. Geomar knows how important this location is. Because this is his base and he scouted it. But Banana Philosopher does not know.
I kind of like Banana Philosopher's position here, I'm not going to lie. Because even though it says Ajiamar has 22 army, it's really like half that because 8 of those are fire galleys.
Mm-hmm.
Or fire ships, excuse me. So, I mean, he's scrambling up some barracks right now. I guess that can deal with the Cavalier, but then the organ guns can deal with those. I guess Halb is what you really want to get to, but that costs a lot of money.
Or in their case, Fire Lancers for the Vietnamese.
Oh, right, Fire Lancers, yes.
I think Banana Philosopher could be moving faster, but he may still be moving fast enough to complete his objectives. And he is putting a lot of pressure, right? He's taking down a town center. His opponents had to throw up emergency barracks in the back of his base and build an emergency castle on the left-hand side. But, this is where scouting is really important, right? If this were Ola Dushek, as an example, Ola Dushek is, like, notorious for finding your gold and then building towers all over it.
Yeah,
You
and
can
raiding
it
his
really
woodlot would be
can make a big difference identifying where your opponent's resources are and then denying them. But Banana
definitely.
Philosopher is just like, I'm just going to go straight for your town. And I'm
And
saying to
imagine if he was
you,
raiding that wood. I
right,
mean, it'd be over. It would be completely over. He can't make any more.
yeah, if the Cavaliers came back here and raided the wood, or if he decided to pressure this castle instead, he could shut down the gold. Um, Although
Yep.
this gold, to be fair, this gold is basically almost out. But there's this other gold back here, and there's another gold back here that the castle secures. But I
Yep.
still think, I still like you said, I still like Banana Philosopher's position.
Yep.
And it's something we've seen that's consistent throughout the. I mean, the second game was pretty rough for Banana Philosopher because his opponent, his opponent literally had a civ that countered his directly. But in that first game, Banana Philosopher played it similarly, where he went up to Imperial Age early, piled on the pressure, and forced his opponent to take bad fights for a little while. And it worked for him for a little while until the weight of his opponent's economy was able to catch up. But I don't know if Agiomar is going to be able to catch up this time.
Yeah, and you know what? That question you asked a long time ago in the last game, what should Banana Philosopher have done in that last game at that point in time? I did think of something to just now. He could have just gone crossbow instead of what
Huh?
was it, Cavalier or Arbalest, excuse me, instead of Cavalier and what was the other thing you made? Cav Archer.
Mm-hmm.
Just go Arbalest against uh, the unique unit. I forget the name.
Yeah, Magyar are the only civilization in the game, unless something has changed, that get fully upgradable Arbalest and fully upgradable Paladin.
Yep.
There's no other civilization that boasts that flexibility. So second castle going down for Agiomar. He's lost 2 town centers. He's
Very housed.
secretly taking gold over here. He's very housed. If he's lucky, Banana Philosopher will not locate these that he's taking resources over. But Banana Philosopher again, just send a guy over here. See if your opponent's trying to take these resources. But maybe he
Yep.
just assumes that Agiomar has this beautiful gold in the back of his base, and it's just not worth checking out because it's so well defended. It's underneath 5 castles or something. But just send a unit over there. Just see what your opponent has, because these are helpless villagers here.
Oh, counterattack in the back. Look at this. Banana Philosopher has 1 on food right now.
Oh, because Agiomar has raided his farming economy.
Yes.
It's destroying this house. And Banana Philosopher coming back with
With
an
help.
army of villagers. Is he just going to buy a castle? And no, okay, he's building farms. It's true. He can't make any more cavaliers for now. There are elephants closing in on these trebuchets, though. That's not good at all. Banana Philosopher needs to get his monks into position, but the monks are just loitering. It's like maybe loitering's not the right word. Maybe the monks are just meditating. The good news
Right,
for
right.
Banana Philosopher is that Agiomar is out of castles, and
Yep.
these cavaliers can just rampage through what's left of Agiomar's economy. And I think Banana Philosopher has got himself a win here.
And making it a lot harder on himself, though, because massing up Halberdier is quite easy to do, and his eco is pretty kind of scrambled at the moment in Banana Philosopher's economy.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like with the fully upgraded Cavalier, though, it's, well, not quite fully upgraded, but +4 defense Cavalier is going to be just enough.
Yep. I think you're right. I'm not sure where they're going. It looks like they're chasing this elephant around. Okay, there they go. They're going to get him. And they should just take one decisive fight with those halbs. And, you could get to a point where your opponent, you just can't make halbs fast enough. Even
Yeah.
though you're teched into all the right things, even though you have a decently sized economy still, you just can't make them fast enough because you're just in a bad spot. You just don't have enough production. And that's a way for a game to end as well. I like how
These fishing
GMR has built a
ships.
sneaky town center back here. Look at that. Cute little town center tucked away behind the birches.
Yeah, these fishing ships are also not really working at all. All
Oh,
the food is that he can see is taken up on the lake. So he needs to fix that if he wants to try and get back in this game.
Or you could send him off to the gold,
Yeah,
which he
exactly.
can
Yeah.
see. Um, but he's a little distracted right now. He's trying to rebuild, but the banana philosopher is hot on his tail. He's not going to give him any quarter here. The banana philosopher wants to take a game off of his opponent, get some sweet, sweet revenge. As you may or may not know, Ronald, Alchemy League scoring, it's no longer about strictly about whoever gets the most wins, because we would have guys that would you know that would be like 400 elo higher than everybody else or 300 elo higher than everybody else and win almost everything. And conversely, we'd have guys that were 300 elo below everybody else and win almost nothing. So the way that we calculate performance now is we compare the win rate that you theoretically should have gotten based on the average skill level of your opponents and the number of games played against each opponent. And that is divided into the win rate that you actually achieved. So it's basically a matter of how much do you overperform expectations or
That's
underperform
cool.
expectations. And it's been working out quite nicely. I mean, you have to have a very accurate tournament elo calculation because it's a linchpin type analysis. It really heavily depends on that. But since we incorporated like a floating tournament elo value that basically gets adjusted depending on your performance last season, we've been really good at nailing people down with an appropriate number. And as Geomar calls the GG. So Banana Philosopher, is one game going to be enough? Is this a good win rate for him? 33%? Well, I don't know. It depends on the elo difference between the two. In theory, you could calculate it. But Banana Philosopher wisely sticking it through to that third game and picking up a win and basically going from a 0% to a 33% win rate. And this, I know it may not sound it, but taking that game off of his opponent means a lot more in our system than it would in most round robin type systems. So,
Pretty entertaining game too. Very back and forth. We
mm-hmm.
had fights on water, fights on land, unique units made, elephants made, conversions, all
Yep,
types of stuff.
yeah, yeah. It was some good stuff. Seemed like a varied game with aggression in all of the ages. So, Ronald, Are you down for another set? We have another play all
Yep.
three. You are? Okay. Excellent. So Ronald and I are going to take like a quick five-ish minute break, and we will be back with Alexander versus Mizumi.
All right. Be back
So
in a little
guys,
bit.
yeah, stick with us. We'll be right back. Thank you. Alright, I am back. I don't know. Doesn't look like Ronald's quite back yet, but he should be back very soon. Aaron Sharma says, wait, Banana Philosopher put the wrong results on the Discord scoreboard. Really? No, these results look correct to me. My recollection from the cast was that Geomar won 2 of the 3 games, and Banana Philosopher only won 1 of them. So, as far as I can tell from how it was posted in Discord, those results are accurate. Yeah, it should be okay. So the next set we've got Alexander versus Mizumi. I was explaining earlier, Alexander is a veteran of the league. He's actually from India. And Mizumi is from Germany. And Ronald and I are from the United States. But we are not playing. We're just talking about the play. So, second set of the evening. I appreciated that these guys did 3 games. So game 1 here, Armenians versus Japanese. So we'll load the replay. Hopefully Ronald will be along pretty soon. Alright, I am at 4 seconds and ready whenever you are. Really? It's getting quite late for me. You must be a night owl still. Always and forever. Alright. So it's... Okay, perfect. Let's unpause. 3, 2, 1, go. So in the blue we have Mizumi playing as the Armenians, and in the yellow we have Alexander playing as the Japanese. Their scouting unit is Jacqueline of Haino, I think. I think that's some kind of campaign unit. Not really familiar with its statistics. I think it can just scout, and that's basically it. I don't think it heals or does anything like that, but it is immune to conversion, since it is a hero. Yeah, no attack. No armor, no attack, just 100 HP. Very open map, Ronald. Not... Except Arabia if it had 2 big bald spots on either side. There's just... Yep. Yeah, it looks like this wood line on the east side of the map wanted to be a little bit bigger. It's got some leaves that... But it's not... They don't have any trees on them. I don't know. Maybe that is a natural terrain formation, but I don't think so. Yeah, I bet that wood was supposed to encompass that entire leaf patch. Oh well. I mean, it doesn't. It's probably not going to matter because it's not close to the town center. It's just these player assigned wood lines that are going to matter for a map this open, and they have similar amounts. Looks like they got 3 golds and 2 stones. And they start with an archery range. Thoughts, Ronald? Yeah.
Have a regular archer build and you'll have 3 ranges if you want to do that. I haven't played much with the Armenians, but I've heard they're pretty decent. Even on Arabia, even though they're an arena type civ.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they get like the free relic or whatever, and then they get the bonus on their infantry, I believe, where they can make infantry like two-handed sword or long swords in Castle Age, I believe.
Yep, Man at Arms in Dark Age, if they want. That free relic. Oh my gosh, Ronald, that free relic has screwed up so many Alchemy League games because we play on standard victory conditions. So sometimes, you got a map that doesn't have any relics on it. The Armenians just build a monastery and the countdown starts.
That could be
that's a little
a good
annoying.
reason. I mean, that could be a good reason just to play Armenians.
I guess.
And then if you're against it, you just like have to be aggressive or you're gonna lose.
So wood count here, they got the mule cart, 4 on wood for the Armenians. That doesn't really tell me very much. You can't hear Ronald. Is it just me? Well, actually, I adjusted the desktop audio here, so you should be able to hear Ronald now. That could be the reason why you weren't able to hear him earlier. Sorry about that. I just realized that desktop audio was turned off as I stepped away. But if you still can't hear Ronald, let me know, and I will mess with it a little bit more. Okay, excellent. You can hear him now. I mean, he always says important things, but the most important things that he's going to say this match are yet to come, probably.
Oh, yeah. Always insightful.
So, all right, so Japanese. Japanese have a respectable archer rush. They have respectable eco bonuses to get to that archer rush faster. They have, of course, they spend half as much on their mining camps, on their lumber camps, on their mills. They have excellent man-at-arms to accompany like a man-at-arms into archer rush. So they're good civ all around. No water on this map, so none of the Japanese water bonuses are really going to come into effect. But I really like Japanese. I think they're a very solid civilization. They have a good monk tech tree. Both of these civilizations, I believe, are monk civilizations.
The Armenians are great monks.
I mean,
they have the monk
free relics,
too, or the war priest. Or
the warrior priests. Now that could be an interesting unit. We have a barracks for Mizumi. The barracks has some flags over it, so this would imply that he has at least one unit in it, and it looks like he does indeed. So he's going to drush into Fast Castle. Look at this. He's making a militia, and it's going to be a 2 militia drush, I guess, into Fast Castle. He hasn't picked up any gold from the gold mine. So 2 militia drush looks like.
Not a huge fan of this, actually, because he's making a mule cart, but not really sure if I like this because your opponent has an archery range, so you could just make 1 archer and then you're fine.
Deal with
the reason why the 2 militia drush is so good is what you end up doing is you attack a villager, you run away, you attack a villager, you run away. You're just pesky. You're not trying to really kill a villager. You're just trying to make it to where they're just gathering less resources. They're slower to collect those resources. He's also getting hit by this bear, so it's going to be even less.
Yeah, donating some HP.
Yeah, and maybe catching your opponent off guard, but it's like you don't even have a scout that attacks, so it's just going to be really tough. Whereas Alexander is going to be going archers, which I really like this. He's doing what I mentioned at the beginning of the game, not even making a barracks, not even making a range, just making a blacksmith. Which I feel like is going to be a very strong build this game, and he can just go into Castle Age after this push.
Yeah, I agree. There are factors in play on this map. due to the lack of a harmful scout. You lack a harmful scout, and it's not going to be conducive to a 2 militia drush given the nature of the scout. I mean, he's basically already scouted the map. I actually don't know. He's got 1 villager on gold. Maybe he's going to upgrade it to... He's upgrading to man-at-arms. He's doing a 2 man-at-arms rush. All right, well, that's a little different. 2 militia drush, not so good. Maybe 2 man-at-arm rush. Could that be good? Maybe he's going to upgrade them to long swordsmen. He is the Armenians, after all. I feel like that wouldn't really add much value, though. There's only 2 of them.
It's pretty expensive.
Big investment. At that point, it's a big investment.
And also, he's making a bunch of farms, so I kind of don't mind this that much, because normally a man-arms rush is like pretty hard on the eco. It's pretty tough to do, because you have 0 farms as you're attacking with them. And you really got to squeeze in, you got to push a deer or 2. Whereas this time, he's got plenty of food to deal with this. And the archers, as much as I enjoyed the build, Don Mizumi was ready for it, taking no damage and already killing 2 archers for free.
Yep, he got skirmishers out and he is prepared. Look at this, he's even trying to trap the archers and succeeding. He's trapped the archers. Is he going to trap enemy scout? The enemy scout is so tanky, though. He's got 100 HP. So she just walks right through like it's nothing.
You might have already mentioned it. What are the elos on these guys?
These guys are between 1,500 and 1,600. So these guys are probably pretty similar to where you're at.
That's interesting. You can really tell the difference of 1,500 and 1,300, even though it's just 200 elo.
Mm-hmm. So yes, Mizumi taking advantage of the fact that he starts with an archery range. He invests in a quick man-at-arms push. He uses the archery range to develop a few, counter archer type units, skirmishers. And same thing for Alexander. He's finally pushing back these man-at-arms. This man-at-arms didn't really do much damage. They just came in and knocked on a house for a little while, and then now they're dead. So I don't really know if Mizumi got the value from those man-at-arms that he was looking for. He may have gotten a little bit of a distraction, though. Who knows? We'll see. Market and blacksmith coming up for Mizumi, so he's just done with feudal age, and he should be done. Alexander's already done. Alexander's on his way up to the castle age now. He's researching it.
You can kind of tell the flow of these 2 builds, how different they were, whereas Mizumi made the early militia, made them into man-at-arms, got the made the barracks, was a little bit later on farms and gold, whereas Alexander just made the 1 blacksmith, and he was already ready to click up to Castle Age. Just made the 1 blacksmith, and he's good. And so also Mizumi had to throw down the blacksmith. He actually didn't have to throw down a market, but it's good to have a market. And so also has double bit X and horse collar. So a much more streamlined build, much more safe build from Alexander. Not saying that, both builds are pretty safe, but forcing him to make skirmishers as well, going to slow him down even more. So faster up to Castle Age by about 1.5 minutes, and even though he's down 3 villagers, they're pretty much at equal villagers as well. Because he's going to catch up on villagers as he makes villagers, and Mizumi is researching Castle Age. Curious on the follow-up. It looks like it's going to be crossbow. He's continuing to make these archers, but what I would guess is he's going to be throwing down 2 TCs right away, and then attack with those archers. But we shall see.
So Mizumi's got 8 villagers on stone. So Mizumi's follow-up is going to involve a castle, whatever it is.
And a stable, too.
And a stable. Apparently a stable as well.
Well, I like the stable because you can't just run, like in 1500, you can't just run out with villagers and just expect to throw it out in town center. You're probably going to die half the time to an army. So the knights are going to help you out with that.
Or the stable could be intended to make scouts to contest relics. We could see what his understanding of the relics is. He scouted 3, 4. He scouted 5 relics. two of them are kind of close to his opponent. So, although he might just be going he might just be going knights, but it could help him get relic control too if he wants. Alexander's interested in this chokehold. Mizumi doesn't want him to have it. Doesn't want to fight this because he's still researching skirmisher upgrades, elite skirmisher and bodkin. Luckily for him, Alexander did not push this. Alexander backed off. Maybe he didn't realize that that was the only opening into Midzumi's base. And Midzumi's going to build this castle at home, which is probably a pretty smart play.
All right, let me take a look at their... Wait, is this going to pause my game? No, I heard something. Let me take a look at the Armenian unique unit.
Oh,
the composite bowman. Yep. Correct.
It is an ranged unit that ignores armor.
Ignores armor, yeah.
Don't ask me how. Maybe they're a bunch of Legolases and they just shoot at the neck and at the armpit. And that's how they ignore armor. Look at this. Alexander simultaneously throwing down a monastery and a stable. So Alexander thinking about contesting the relics as well. And
he doesn't really even need to because he's so far ahead economically. I guess he doesn't know he's this ahead economically, but this Japanese build has been great. So
you were correct in predicting that Mizumi is building knights. He's got 2 knights, and he's building another one.
But he made the castle at home, so yeah. I was expecting the knights to lead the way for the forward castle. But I'm not really sure why you're making knights now when your castle's already up. Not even... Wait, did he make a... He made one composite bowman.
I don't know. He built a fortified church, and he's making a warrior priest. So I think he's interested in picking up a few relics here or there. And he does have knights out, and they are headed toward Yellow's base. Okay. And I think they're interested in a raid, I think.
Warrior priests can't pick up relics, though. So there is that.
Yes, they can. I think he's going to be disappointed. Alexander's warrior priests can pick up relics, I'm pretty sure. I guess we'll find out. There's one right here at the base of this monastery.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think they church. But I could be wrong because I don't play with this Civ hardly ever. So
well, he deleted the wall segment, so it's got to be pretty urgent, right? If the warrior priest couldn't pick up this relic, deleting the wall segment and walking directly toward it would be a waste of time. And yep, he's got it. The warrior priest with the relic. All right, so I wasn't sure myself, but I thought I had seen it before, and we got a warrior priest walking back with a relic.
Oh, maybe it's they don't convert because they beat a scout head to head.
Yeah, they can't convert. It's weird with those things because on the one hand they're considered a monastery unit against which scouts have bonus damage. But on the other hand, they also have good statistics.
Yeah, exactly, because they have the 11 attack, so they kill the scout pretty quickly.
So they both kill each other quickly. Or maybe it's light cav I'm thinking of that are more effective against them. And Midzumi's in. This is a good win for Mizumi. Oh, that wasn't a good win, but getting in general was a good win. But these knights are so eager to kill villagers, they're not protecting the skirmishers from the siege weapons. Maybe he just doesn't care. Maybe, it's worth just killing a few villagers.
Alexander just deleted his monk for no reason.
Where? I didn't know.
It might have got sniped. Okay.
Alexander, Alexander is not the type of guy that would delete his monk for no reason. I mean, I've been known to delete units to prevent them from being converted.
But not the monk, right?
But not the monk. I don't delete, the unit to prevent it from converting. That would be very silly. That wouldn't make much sense at all.
I didn't see the knight running away at first, so that's why I was like, why is that guy dead?
So I wonder if Alexander, he has not walled off this section here. I wonder if he assumes that this huge wood line just extends to the edge of the map somehow. Check Alexander's fog. No, he knows. He knows that this is open over here, so he just didn't bother. And he didn't really bother walling up the front of this either. I mean, I guess it's important for him to wall up to this wood line and have a little partial wall here, but he feels confident enough in his defenses. He's going to grab this relic and head home with it, with the monk. So, a little bit of a relic contest. Look at this. Mizumi is going for a forward base on his opponent. He's got a forward castle, and he's got a bunch of composite bowmen assembling. He's even sent forward some knights and a mule cart. So the mule cart will allow these villagers to take resources in this location, so that he could potentially, keep them there in case he needs to build some more stuff.
Alexander, I loved his build. Maybe it was just the attack that happened or what, but a lot of idle TC, so only ahead. Well, I guess it was only by 6 bills. Now he's ahead by, 8. So he could be a lot more ahead than he is. So this attack's going to be with villagers. So this attack's going to be a little tricky. There's another castle dropped here.
Yep.
That's going to take away 2 stones, those farmers. And that gold's going to be hard to mine from as well.
I think that Mizumi has the range upgrades. Yeah, he's got both range upgrades on this castle. So he can't really get any more denial on that gold unless he gets to Imperial Age and researches Bracer. Which, if he could do that, mining the gold would be the least of Alexander's worries. Although Alexander doesn't have another. Oh, okay. He's got another gold. He's got 2 tiles of gold back here.
That's what I'm worried about. Yeah, all his golds are forward.
Yeah, with the exception of that gold right there, it's.
Yeah, he's got 1,600 back there. Okay.
Oh no, Alexander's going into Japanese cavalry archers. Oh, disaster.
They could be okay.
They might be okay on this map. It's a pretty open map. He's got some knights in the back of Mizumi's base. I guess they kind of forced down some house walls, improvised house walls, and they're raiding Mizumi. Oh, Mizumi converted this knight. Oh, that's helpful. Mizumi
I honestly prefer... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say he's got 3 relics.
Okay, yeah, and